stop whatever you're doing and tune in. If this video has reached you at this exact moment, it's not by chance. You're part of a rare group. Only a small fraction of people who encounter this message are truly prepared to receive what's about to unfold. And that's what makes this moment so extraordinary. If you're watching this, something pivotal is about to shift in your life within the next hour. It might sound unbelievable, but stay with me. There's scientific evidence behind why certain messages reach us precisely when we need them most. Your current mindset, emotional state, and openness to change have aligned perfectly to bring you here. This isn't luck or coincidence, it's energetic alignment. What you're about to discover stems from cutting-edge research in neuroscience that reveals how our minds can reshape the reality we live in. And here's the remarkable part. You don't need years of study or complex methods. Change can begin within the next 60 minutes, starting with understanding why this message found its way to you. Your brain is already primed for what's coming. Every challenge you've faced, every moment of frustration or stagnation, has been preparing you for this breakthrough. The question isn't whether transformation is possible, it's whether you're willing to embrace what's ready to enter your life. Because once you grasp these principles, your entire understanding of how reality is shaped will be forever altered. Are you ready to discover why today marks the beginning of something entirely new? Before we continue, subscribe to the channel. And if you truly feel ready to be part of the 1% who will reshape their reality in the next hour, leave a comment saying, "I'm ready for my breakthrough." That simple act sends a signal to the universe that you're serious about the shift that's already underway. Have you ever noticed how the right book seems to fall into your hands just when you need its message? Or how a passing conversation contains the exact words you needed to hear? That's not wishful thinking. That's synchronicity in motion. And it's why you're watching this video right now. Synchronicity operates on a principle most people never acknowledge. We don't stumble upon the right information by accident. Instead, our internal state acts like a broadcast signal, tuning us into experiences that match our readiness to evolve. When you're truly open to change, the universe responds by placing the right people, ideas, and opportunities directly in your path. Think back to those times in your life when everything seemed to fall into place. What was your mental and emotional state then? Chances are, you were focused, receptive, and expecting something positive. That created an energetic invitation for synchronicity to occur. What's unique about this moment is that your awareness has reached a tipping point. You've been asking questions, seeking clarity, and preparing for a breakthrough. That inner work has drawn this moment into existence. The frustration you felt, the sense that something greater is waiting for you, it's all been leading here. But what makes synchronicity truly powerful is its timing. It doesn't just deliver insights, it delivers them precisely when you're ready to act on them. Random timing wouldn't have the same impact. Perfect timing changes everything. Right now, your brain is in an ideal state to absorb and integrate new patterns of thought. The neural pathways that kept you stuck are ready to be rewired. This isn't happening by accident. Your consciousness has been preparing for this recalibration. So when you finish watching this and begin to feel something shift, when new ideas emerge or unexpected opportunities arise, don't dismiss them as coincidence. They're early signs that synchronicity is working in your favor. You've tuned into a frequency of possibility that most people never access, and what happens next depends entirely on your willingness to trust the process. Your mind doesn't just generate thoughts. It broadcasts them. Every thought you focus on sends out an energetic signal that attracts experiences aligned with it. This isn't just a mystical idea. Modern neuroscience has shown that our brains produce measurable electromagnetic fields that extend beyond our physical bodies. When you consistently dwell on lack, struggle, or limitation, you're essentially transmitting a frequency that draws more of the same. But when you shift your focus to abundance and growth, you begin to attract circumstances that reflect that elevated state of awareness. Most people shape their reality unconsciously. They wake up each day repeating the same mental patterns, feeling the same emotions, and wondering why nothing ever changes. They're caught in what scientists call the brain's default mode network. Automatic thought loops that keep producing the same outcomes. But you have the power to break that cycle. Every time you choose a different thought, you're literally reshaping your brain. Every time you feel a different emotion, you alter your energetic signature. And each time your energetic signature shifts, so does what you draw into your life. The key is understanding that your thoughts and emotions must align. You can't think positively while feeling negatively and expect miraculous results. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart is actually stronger than the one produced by your brain. That means your emotional state plays a greater role in determining what you attract. When your thoughts and emotions are in harmony, when you think elevated thoughts and feel elevated emotions, you create a powerful energetic field capable of influencing physical reality. That's why visualization combined with genuine emotion is so effective. You're not just imagining change. You're becoming the change energetically. Right now, as you watch this, your brain is already forming new neural connections. The information you're receiving is carving out new pathways that didn't exist an hour ago. But real transformation begins when you step away from this video and start applying these principles with intention and consistency. What thoughts have dominated your mental space lately? What emotions have you carried through your days? These patterns have shaped your reality more than you realize. But today marks the beginning of conscious creation, where you deliberately choose thoughts and emotions that align with the life you truly want to experience. Are you ready to become a magnet for the experiences you've long desired? Being receptive doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for life to happen to you. True receptivity is an active state of awareness, remaining open to possibilities your logical mind might initially resist. It's about cultivating the ability to recognize opportunities, insights, and synchronicities that are constantly around you. Most people miss the signs because they're stuck in rigid thought patterns. They expect change to arrive in a specific form, at a specific time, through predetermined channels. But breakthroughs rarely follow our timelines or expectations. They emerge through unexpected conversations, sudden realizations, or circumstances that seem unrelated to our goals. A receptive mindset asks you to release attachment to how things should unfold and instead pay attention to how they actually want to unfold. It means noticing subtle nudges, following sparks of curiosity, and exploring paths that may not make immediate logical sense. Think about the most profound changes in your life. How many of them happened exactly as you planned? Probably very few. The biggest transformations usually come through doors you didn't even know existed. Your role isn't to force those doors open, it's to stay alert enough to recognize them when they appear. Right now, your awareness is in a heightened state of receptivity. Something about this day, this very moment, has opened you up to absorb new insights. That openness isn't random, it's the result of an internal buildup that's been quietly unfolding within you. You've been seeking direction, asking for clarity, and making space for something fresh to emerge. In the coming hours, you'll have chances to engage with this receptive awareness. You might notice thoughts surfacing that don't fit your usual mental patterns. You may feel drawn to take steps that previously wouldn't have crossed your mind. Encounters with people, ideas, or situations might suddenly feel aligned with what you've been searching for. Don't overanalyze these moments, just stay present and responsive. The universe doesn't speak through flashing signs, it whispers through sensations, nudges, and subtle impulses. Your ability to tune into these quiet signals determines how quickly your reality can shift. The bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science has never been stronger than it is today. Neuroscience is now confirming what mystics and spiritual teachers have taught for centuries: our brains are capable of reorganizing themselves based on what we think, feel, and experience. This phenomenon, known as neuroplasticity, is the biological foundation of everything we're exploring here. Groundbreaking studies by Dr. Joe Dispenza have shown that we're not bound by our genetic programming or past experiences. Every time we learn something new, entertain a fresh idea, or engage in a novel experience, we're literally rewiring our neural architecture. And the most important part? We can do this deliberately, not just by accident. When you repeatedly think the same thoughts, your brain strengthens the pathways that make those thoughts easier to repeat. That's why breaking out of old habits feels so difficult at first. Your brain has become efficient at running outdated programs, and it takes focused effort to build new ones. But the moment you choose to think differently, something extraordinary begins to happen. New neural connections start forming, and with consistent practice, these new pathways grow stronger than the old ones. That's the biological basis of transformation. You're reshaping the physical structure of your brain. And when you pair new thoughts with elevated emotions, like genuine excitement, gratitude, or inspiration, you create what neuroscientists call enriched neural networks. These networks are more resilient and more likely to influence your behavior and decision-making. Most people try to change their external circumstances first, hoping their inner world will follow. But neuroscience shows us that lasting change works in the opposite direction. When you shift your internal state, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, your outer reality begins to mirror those changes. This isn't about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It's about training your brain to operate from a new baseline of thought and feeling. When you consistently focus on the person you're becoming, rather than the person you've been, your brain starts building the neural framework to support that new identity. The beauty of neuroplasticity is that it doesn't expire with age. Your brain remains capable of forming new connections throughout your entire life. The limitations you've accepted, the patterns you thought were permanent, the habits that felt unbreakable, they can all be reshaped through conscious intention. Right now, as you absorb this information, new neural pathways are forming. You're no longer the same person who began watching this video. The question is, which neural circuits will you choose to reinforce over the next hour, the next day, the next week? Your emotions aren't just reactions to life, they're the creative force behind it. Every feeling you experience is a form of energy in motion, and that energy has the power to influence the physical world in ways science is only beginning to understand. Most people experience emotions passively, letting their surroundings dictate how they feel. They wait for something good to happen before allowing themselves to feel good. But that mindset traps them in a loop of reacting to their current reality instead of creating a new one. Breakthroughs happen when you flip that process. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change so you can feel differently, you begin to feel differently now, and that sends a signal to your body and brain to start generating new circumstances that match those elevated emotions. Gratitude is one of the most transformative emotions because it convinces your body that something wonderful has already occurred. When you feel sincere gratitude, your entire nervous system shifts into a state of coherence and openness. That state makes you more receptive to opportunities and insights that were previously invisible. Enthusiasm is another powerful emotion. It literally means, filled with divine energy. When you feel enthusiastic about your future, you radiate a frequency that attracts experiences aligned with that excitement. Your enthusiasm becomes a magnet for the people, resources, and situations needed to bring your vision to life. Love may be the most potent emotion of all, because it dissolves the barriers between what you desire and what you already have. When you feel love, for yourself, for others, for life itself, you operate from a place of unity rather than separation. From that state, what you seek isn't something to acquire, it's something you're already aligned with. The key is learning to generate these elevated emotions regardless of your current circumstances. It takes practice, but it's absolutely within reach. You can feel grateful before you have a reason to be. You can feel excited before anything exciting happens. You can feel love before encountering a situation that evokes it. Once you master the ability to choose your emotional state, you become the conscious architect of your reality, not its unconscious bystander. Your emotions are no longer mere reactions, they become deliberate choices. They stop being the result of circumstances and start acting as the driving force behind them. So ask yourself, which emotions have you been nurturing with your attention lately? And more importantly, which ones do you want to cultivate from this moment forward? In a world that never stops speaking, silence has become a rare and precious commodity. But silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the presence of infinite potential. When you create space between your thoughts, you unlock access to a deeper wisdom that lies beyond your everyday mental chatter. Your analytical mind is constantly evaluating, comparing, and commenting on everything you experience. While this mental activity serves a purpose, it can also block the emergence of deeper insights waiting to surface. Silence interrupts that stream of inner noise, making room for subtle guidance and creative inspiration to rise. True silence isn't about forcing your mind to be empty. It's about observing your thoughts without being swept away by them. When you sit quietly and simply notice what arises in your awareness, without judgment or attachment, something remarkable begins to unfold. The mental noise fades, and beneath it, you discover a profound intelligence that's been waiting to speak to you. This inner wisdom communicates through sensations, images, sudden clarity, and gentle impulses, not through words or logic. It operates beyond the limits of your past experiences and conditioned beliefs. It knows things your thinking mind could never grasp on its own. Many people avoid silence because they fear what they might uncover. But the truth is, silence doesn't reveal what's wrong with you, it reveals what's right. It reconnects you with the part of yourself that already knows how to create the change you've been seeking. Even a few minutes of genuine stillness can shift your entire perspective. Challenges that once felt insurmountable begin to show simple solutions. Problems that seemed impossible suddenly become clear and solvable. That's the power of tapping into the wisdom that exists beyond the noise of habitual thought. At the deepest level of existence, beyond the solid appearance of matter, there's what quantum physicists call the field, a sea of infinite possibilities where every potential outcome exists simultaneously. This isn't science fiction, it's the foundation of modern physics. And learning how to engage with this field is the key to rapid, lasting transformation. Dr. Joe Dispenza has spent years exploring how human consciousness can access and influence this quantum field of possibility. His research shows that when we combine clear intention with elevated emotion, we can literally collapse new realities from the field of infinite potential into our physical experience. Most people live confined by the boundaries of their past. They use memories of yesterday to shape and predict their tomorrow. But the quantum field exists outside of time as we normally perceive it. It holds possibilities that have never existed in your personal history, but are fully available to you right now. The gateway to these possibilities lies in learning to think, feel, and act beyond your current circumstances. When you stay focused on the outcome you desire, and feel the emotions you would feel if that outcome were already real, you create what scientists call quantum coherence. In that state, you're no longer bound by the limitations of your past. This process asks you to become more than your environment, more than your physical body, and more than time itself. You must entertain thoughts you've never considered, feel emotions you've never allowed, and imagine possibilities you've never explored. This isn't about escaping reality or indulging in fantasy. This is about expanding your understanding of what's truly possible. The quantum field doesn't respond to how hard you struggle, it responds to the quality of your awareness. When you approach it from a place of desperation or lack, you reinforce the very limitations you're trying to escape. But when you engage with it from a state of wholeness, gratitude, and inner knowing, you signal that you're ready to receive something beyond your current experience. Your brain doesn't distinguish between events that have physically happened and those vividly imagined with emotion. When you repeatedly visualize and emotionally embody your desired reality, your brain begins constructing the neural architecture needed to make it real. You become neurologically prepared for a new life before it even arrives. The most profound shifts happen when you release your attachment to how and when your desires will unfold. The quantum field operates on perfect timing and alignment, not on your personal deadlines or preferences. Your role is to maintain a state of being that matches what you want to create, and trust that the field will handle the details. As you begin to understand these principles, you're already interacting with the quantum field in a new way. Your expanded awareness is generating possibilities that didn't exist before. The question is, which version of reality do you want to draw from the infinite field of potential? Everything you've ever longed for exists right now, not in some distant future when conditions are ideal, and not in a past version of yourself that had all the answers. It's here, in the eternal present, where all transformation truly happens. Most people spend their mental energy reliving the past or rehearsing the future, missing the only moment where real power resides. The present isn't just a place where change can happen, it's where change becomes inevitable, if you know how to engage with it consciously. When you're fully present, you step out of the mental loops that keep recreating the same experiences. You stop running old programs and begin responding to life with fresh awareness. That shift, from automatic reaction to conscious response, is where your true creative power lives. The present moment holds insights your thinking mind, stuck in past and future, simply can't access. Solutions that seemed impossible yesterday become clear today when you meet them with present moment awareness. Opportunities your anxious mind overlooked suddenly reveal themselves. Being present doesn't mean forcing your thoughts to stop. It means changing your relationship with them. Instead of getting lost in your thoughts, you observe them. Instead of believing every idea that passes through your mind, you learn to choose which ones deserve your attention and energy. Right now, notice what happens when you bring your full awareness to this moment. Feel the shift in your energy when you stop planning, analyzing, and problem solving, and simply acknowledge what is. This isn't passive surrender. It's active presence, which opens you to guidance and inspiration your busy mind couldn't access. The changes you're seeking won't arrive at some future point when you finally have enough time, energy, or resources. They'll happen the moment you commit to being different, now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Circumstances never improve later, they improve in the now. Your future self already exists as a potential in this present moment. Every time you choose thoughts, emotions, and actions that align with who you want to become. Not who you've been, you bring that potential into reality. This is the practical magic of present moment awareness. Imagine how your life would shift if you brought this level of presence to every decision, every interaction, every moment of the next hour. The deepest transformations rarely arrive in the form we expect. They slip in through side doors while we're watching the front. They whisper while we're listening for shouts. They emerge from conversations, encounters, and circumstances your logical mind would dismiss as irrelevant. That's why cultivating openness to the unexpected may be the most valuable trait you can develop. Your rational mind has very specific ideas about how change should happen, what solutions should look like, and which paths lead to desired outcomes. But it operates with limited data, based on past experiences and cultural conditioning. The universe, on the other hand, works with infinite information and boundless creative potential. It can orchestrate solutions you never imagined, deliver exactly what you need through channels you never considered, and arrange circumstances with a precision your mind could never replicate. Pay attention to conversations that take an unexpected turn. Notice people who show up at just the right moment. Be aware of insights that reach you through unusual means. Don't rush to label these events. Don't judge them as good or bad, relevant or irrelevant. Stay curious. Stay aware. The meaning of unexpected events often reveals itself only in hindsight, sometimes weeks or months later. Your ability to embrace the unexpected directly influences how quickly your life can transform. When you release control over how change must unfold, you make room for miracles that exceed anything your limited imagination could construct. Subscribe now so you don't miss powerful new insights and practices. Like the video, it helps other spiritual seekers find it.